Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 11th, 2022 meeting of the Municipal Airport Authority, City of Fargo. First order, approve minutes of the regular meeting, September 27th.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Approve, please.
Osgood.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to item 2, approve airport vouchers totaling $205,958.76. Motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? None. Roll.
Osgood.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Amen.
Aye.
Should note that the Diamond Vogel one there, that paint you ordered back in October last year.
Yeah, I was
just
looking.
came. Yellow paint. Now if you can find red paint, let us know. You can find red paint.
Well, we did, but it was out in the East Coast.
I think it was green with the yellow.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 3, individual vouchers. A, Voltaire Aviation, 1,875. B, CMTA for 576. C, Flint Group, 24,134.32. D, TL Stroh, 3,049.25. E, Sun Electric, 288,990.27. F, Border States, 659,386.78. G, Sun Electric, 48,600. H, TF Powers, $73,080. I, Peterson Mechanical, 5,040. J, TF Powers, 42,003. Motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion second. Discussion. None. Roll call.
Osgood.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Amen.
Aye. Moving on to number 4, receive August financial statement.
Jamie, is that you online? She is. Okay. Let's get the August financials before you. And I guess if you have any questions, if you've gone through those, we, I think, waited for one airline to get us some critical information to get those done, and that took some time. Delta, so they're here before you. I guess whatever questions that you have or anything for Jamie, she's available.
Any questions from the board?
Move to approve.
Motion second.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? None. Roll call.
Cosgrove?
Aye.
Capitan?
Aye.
Amen.
Aye.
Thanks, Jamie.
Move on to number 5, authorize
Thank you.
attendance. Moving on to number 5, authorize attendance at the ARFF working group meeting May 14th through the 17th, 23.
Request from Chief Bush, and it's the only 80 applicants that are allowed into this, and it's put on by the Boeing and fire departments. So we have 3 employees that will be signing up to go to this in 2023. Chief Bush is online if you have any questions of him.
Anything for the chief from the board? Nothing?
You say three of his people,
Yes.
including him, going?
Chief, are you going, or is it three others?
3 of the other personnel.
Okay.
Okay, move to approve.
Motion second, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? Roll call.
Cosgrove?
Aye.
Capitan?
Aye.
Amen.
Aye. Moving on to number 6, authorize attendance at the North Dakota National Guard meeting and reception, November 2022 in Washington DC.
It's an event that the National Guard Support Group through the Chamber attends each year. I think there's been 20-some people invited that are part of that group through the Chamber. I know Eric Lind is part of the group as well and will be attending. We meet with the congressional delegations, both North Dakota, Minnesota, and do briefings through the primacy group on various things on Veterans Affairs, the Defense Department bill, National Guard Association, Federal Reserve, USDA, immigration briefing, and also a tour and briefing from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So it's always a good event each year. They moved it to the fall. Normally it's in the spring.
Motion.
So move.
Motion. Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None? Roll call.
Cosgrove?
Aye.
Capitan?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, number 7, receive communication from Jerry Dean, MDC, regarding lease rate adjustment.
Okay, so this is the first of our cargo leases that comes up for a lease adjustment. I did send out to you excerpts of the language, hopefully you got that yesterday, just the excerpts from there. And the most that the ground rental rate can increase from 25 cents is 5 cents. Where the increase can be no more than 20% above the amount of the annual rent from the previous term. So he has some iterations that he provided in his email to me about his evaluation of the consumer price index for all urban consumers. He comes up with 0.295. I think the 30 cents is probably in line. That will also fall into place for all the other cargo leases that are coming due up in that area. So all of and Stacy can confirm this, all of the language in our cargo leases for UPS and FedEx is the same. It's based on section 34 that's in the prime lease there in terms of how the renewal options work. And that the rent can increase, but in no event greater than the percentage change, if any, in the consumer price index for all urban consumers. So I would recommend your approval of a 5 cent per square foot increase for the corporate air hangar. I think it's effective December 8th if I'm not mistaken, but I'll double check. That's the first one.
Okay, motion, please.
Move to approve.
We have a motion, a second, any discussion, raising the rental rate 5 cents? None, roll call.
Cosgrove.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Hingham.
Aye. Moving on to number 8, received communication from Middle Arc Logistics.
The occupied space on the first and second floor of the East Terminal building, they did take over that UPS space on the first floor after UPS had vacated. 3% escalator, and Mr. Lawson is requesting a 2-year extension.
Can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
And a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? None, roll call.
Cosgrove.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Hingham.
Aye. Number 9, received communication, a request from White Tracy, Bucks Trading Company, to extend terminal lease.
This is first floor space that was previously occupied by Metal Arc. When Metal Arc moved to UPS, Bucks Trading came in out of Fairmont, North Dakota and leased this space, and he's requesting a 1-year extension. He did advise us that he is looking for space elsewhere to build or either buy some additional space. So that's his request there. Bucks Trading is basically sports memorabilia, Pokemon, you name it. He's into baseball cards, football cards, and everything that makes a pretty good living doing it. So
Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? None, roll call.
Cosgrove.
Aye.
Capitan.
Aye.
Hingham.
Aye. Moving on to number 10, airport construction security update.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I don't have a whole lot, I guess, on the parking lot, I guess, I don't know if you've driven by recently, but they, last week they got, some curb and gutter in, yesterday they're finishing up the curb and gutter, and then once that clears out, they'll get the bituminous paving done. I suspect, I haven't gotten an exact date, but I would suspect that'll be within the week, and then, today, it's my understanding, if they can make it work and they can get concrete, they're gonna try to pave that. There's a section of service road that provides airfield access. They're gonna try to get that done today.
And that has to be done.
That is concrete, yeah, for the reason that it's airfield access for all the heavy equipment. Security access control, they have all the underground conduit in, and they, I haven't asked Sun Electric recently, but they were beginning to pull all the fiber optic cable around the airfield. They had started that last week too, so, yeah, I mean, there's, fortunately, the fall weather is holding out and they're still able to work here, so.
Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, the operative word there is if you can get concrete. Phrase I should say. It's getting really difficult. Power's updated their schedule. They pushed the schedule back just a week or so. Right now we're talking about doing a punch list. They think they could be doing a punch list in January, first week in January. Right now, you can see if you drive by, they're putting up studs, they'll be putting sheeting up soon. They've got a lot of the curb and gutter poured, they're working on that. I got some site work, so it's go on. So there's issues with, hopefully, all that is concrete for us as well, so I'm hoping that continues to get what we need, so.
Any questions for Terry? Looks like we're still looking for baseboard at the checkpoint.
I actually sent an email over when I got here.
Still got some punch list items on the checkpoint expansion, so baseboard being one of them, they're still on the back order, and like, or if it's in, they haven't told us. Have you heard anything, Dan? And then on the windows, the wrong windows that were put in, they're just gonna put,
Apparently they're filming them to see if they can get a color match.
okay. So they took windows out to get all the X-ray equipment through on the north end that we've done 2 or 3 times before, and they put the windows in, but they were the wrong windows, so. we're looking for a-
Yeah, they didn't have the right tint on them.
Yeah, so they're working on a solution for that, but outside of that, I think that's really the only 2 things that are left, baseboard and windows.
Plan is still some repair of the walls where the storm damage,
Oh, okay.
that's on them, so.
Thank you, Terry. Anything else, Sean?
Just some other minor things, so, last, was it this week or I can't remember, we had a Air Portugal, irregular ops review with all the stakeholders and some folks from the Minneapolis airport that were on board. So I don't know, Darren, if you wanna tell anything about that?
Yeah, we had, last Thursday, it was very good. It was a group I've been part of, Minneapolis Airport, actually not part of the airport, they're contracted with the airport, so we had irregular operations with all the diversion airports around Minneapolis, and, so this is a case study for them, because it was kind of worst case scenario type of thing. Well, although it could have been worse, it would have been middle of winter, but it was actually a very good discussion. We had, the room was full of people, and everybody kind of spoke their, what they thought went right, what went wrong, and actually there wasn't too much that went wrong, I mean, other than they got stuck here, but, it was handled actually very well, and this group is actually gonna do a summary for us along with a case study, and then present it to us, so, and then they're gonna use it for, other airports surrounding Minneapolis and stuff, so if this ever happens to them, how to handle it. They were very impressed how everybody here worked together, all the airlines kind of stepped up to the plate, and you don't see that in a lot of airports, along with, CVB and all the mutual aid people around the area. Everybody stepped up very well. Yeah, she was very impressed with how everything went, so. That's about it.
Last week, we also pulled together all of the South GA tenants for the proposed reconstruction of the South General Aviation apron. So the tenants that are impacted by that were together, and we went through different concepts that Jeff from EDOT had put together. And I think we've came to agreement, if you will, on what the layout will be for that reconstruction project down there that will take place next summer if there is cement on it. Coming, we approved them to put together the RFQ for the CMAR process. We just got that contract last night. Stacy has reviewed it. I've got to respond to that. She's looked at the contract there. So we'll probably get that signed this week or next week to keep the CMAR process moving forward. Some months ago, the board approved the upgrade of the security system at Customs. So Convergent is the contractor out of South Dakota that handles that for us. And as of last week, they're still waiting for critical parts to show up to do that. Supply chain issues, whatever the excuse is there. So that project is still moving forward. And then we received a proposal from Walker Consultants. I guess I don't know Mr. Cosgrove or Mr. Engen, I've sent this to the city. Have not heard back from Jim Gilmore on a parking garage pre-design study. I know that they've engaged some local talent here with Meat Hunt and TL Stroh, but I don't know if you've heard anything.
No, not at this point. The discussion simply with the city is what would a 500 space parking garage cost, and how would it be paid for? How do we work that? Kind of the first thing is just understanding. I see the city is going to be working on another 500 stall lot, but that'll be built in the downtown, so somewhat different than out here, so. We'll jointly go through the study and look at it and say this is what the airport can pay for out of whatever sources, and if the city's gonna be involved. And John, I think we talked about splitting the cost of that study. And the study was about 50,000.
It's proposed at 43,200, and then there's some reimbursable expenses that would be in addition to that. So, yeah, 43.2 is where it sits right now.
So they'll review it, we'll review it and bring it back and talk about path forward. Sort of a joint problem to solve, because unless we start charging $20 an hour for parking, it probably won't cash flow. Or steal parts of cars.
Status on PFM yet? Where are we? It's gotten a bit drug out.
Yeah, so Bank of North Dakota was closed yesterday, so we found a gentleman, Christopher Amon, at the Bank of North Dakota that can basically do everything that PFM does. The money at the Bank of North Dakota, you tell them what you want to invest in and they execute all the trades. Well, there's a little bit of a disconnect right now with PFM and the Bank of North Dakota, and I think they're going to speak today. The bank was closed, so to try and sort out what needs to be done. All indications are is that if PFM is involved in the process and executes the trades, the trade tickets would come to us. So myself or Joan probably will be entering in trade tickets into the process. If we have the Bank of North Dakota do it and PFM just advises them on what we want to invest in, they'll do everything. It's I don't know. You know this world, I don't.
I think the less hands involved from the advisor to the custodian is the appropriate path. And the fact that we'll probably be using the Bank of North Dakota in the future for financing would behoove us as a group to simplify that process and move forward and get it done as quick as possible, so the bank is helping us. And maybe it's a model for other municipalities throughout the state as well too.
Hopefully we'll learn more about that today, so.
Once they finally get this set up, the trade volume should be almost nil.
Correct, yeah, correct. And then it's, once the initials are done, then it's like every 6 months. So, it's a different world. Fortunately, Rick understands it well. I think John does as well too, but I guess if they're gonna send out the tickets from the trades and we have to enter them into the SWIFT process, which I've looked at, they've sent me the screenshots of what needs to be entered. And if something is missing on the ticket that needs to be entered, well, then you're stuck, and you only have so many hours to enter the information after a trade is done. And if I'm gone, or she's gone, or there's issues, I don't know.
I think there's a straightforward process that we have to get to that soon.
So that's where I don't.
Hopefully they can work that out.
Yeah. So I don't
Anything
think-
else for the good of the order? Nothing? Meeting adjourned.